Have you ever noticed something strange about powerful people? In meetings, in politics, even in everyday conversations? The person who talks the most is almost never the one in control. It's usually the quiet one, the one who listens, the one who only speaks once. But when they do, the entire room goes silent. This is the fourth law of power. Always say less than necessary. And history has proven this rule again and again. Let me tell you a story. In the early 1800s, inside the court of a powerful European king, there were many advisors competing for influence. Among them was a young strategist named Victor. Victor was brilliant, educated, confident, and incredibly ambitious. Whenever the king gathered his advisors to discuss politics, strategy, or war, Victor was always the first to speak. He explained everything. He shared ideas. He analyzed every possible scenario, and he spoke with passion. Victor believed that if the king saw how intelligent he was, power would follow. But there was another advisor in the room, a man named Adrian. And Adrian almost never spoke. Adrian attended every meeting. He listened carefully, but he rarely said more than a sentence or two.
Victor couldn't understand it. How can someone gain influence by saying nothing? He once asked another advisor. To Victor, silence looked like weakness. Power, he believed, belonged to those who could argue, persuade, and explain.
But Adrian seemed perfectly comfortable saying almost nothing. And strangely, the king seemed to respect him more than anyone else in the room. Victor didn't understand why, but he was about to find out. One winter evening, the king called a council meeting to discuss a growing threat. A neighboring kingdom was building alliances and expanding its military. The king wanted a strategy.
We should impose trade sanctions, strengthen border defenses, form new alliances with neighboring states.
For nearly 10 minutes, Victor explained his entire plan. The other advisors listened quietly. When Victor finished, he felt confident. Surely the king would be impressed.
Adrian, what do you think?
Your Majesty, perhaps our neighbor is hoping we respond exactly that way.
Explain.
Now every advisor was paying attention. Victor had spoken for 10 minutes, but Adrian had said just one sentence. And somehow it carried more weight than everything Victor had said. Adrian then calmly explained his reasoning. But because he had spoken so little before, every word now felt important. The room listened carefully. Victor realized something uncomfortable in that moment. The less Adrian spoke, the more powerful his words became.
Months later, Victor made a mistake. While speaking with other advisors, he openly shared his opinions about several nobles in the kingdom, who he trusted, who he didn't, who he believed was dangerous.
Victor didn't think much of it, but words travel quickly inside a palace. Soon, those comments reached the ears of the nobles themselves, and eventually, the king heard about them too.
I need to ask you something. Why do you speak so little in council meetings?
When you speak too much, people learn everything about you. They learn your strategy, your fears, your ambitions. But when you say less, they are forced to study you. Silence gives you control.
This is the hidden psychology behind the fourth law of power. When someone speaks constantly, their words lose value. But when someone speaks rarely, their words gain weight. Silence creates mystery, and mystery creates authority. Human beings naturally assume that quiet people are thinking deeply, so when they finally speak, everyone listens. Great leaders, negotiators, and strategists have understood this principle for centuries. Sometimes the most powerful statement is restraint.
Think about a business meeting. One person talks constantly, explaining every detail. Another person listens quietly. Then, after everyone else has finished, that person shares a short, clear observation.
Which person sounds more confident? Which person seems more intelligent? Usually the one who spoke less. Because restraint signals control, and control signals power. The same rule works in negotiations, in leadership, even in everyday conversations. Those who rush to fill every silence often lose influence. Those who allow silence to exist often gain it. Years later, Victor became one of the king's most respected advisors. But people noticed something had changed. He no longer rushed to speak. He listened first, observed carefully.
And when he finally spoke, the entire room paid attention. Victor had learned what Adrian understood from the beginning. Power doesn't belong to the person who talks the most. It belongs to the one who knows when not to speak.
That is the fourth law of power. Always say less than necessary.